2. Let's try this again. Welcome to the super spooky Halloween edition of Quantumplations podcast. This time we're talking about the third album, Gauche.
The third!
In the last 2 episodes, we didn't talk about the names of the albums or the covers of them. So Gauche follows the naming scheme that I used for both inept and derivative, where when I was deciding to make this music, I thought, alright, I know it's gonna be bad. I know it's gonna be shit. I know it's gonna be badly made. So I was like, I thought, what's a good word for badly made? And I went to thesaurus.com, scoured around, and I found it. Because I needed the perfect balance of obscure enough that people... obscure enough that people aren't... it's not immediately recognizable as big bad, but also understandable enough that it's an English word and it's not like something that nobody ever uses anymore. So I landed on inept, and after I made derivative, because there are 5 covers on the album, I wanted a word that meant it was unoriginal and takes from other people, because
Hipsters?
What?
What?
Where did hipsters come from?
No, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay, anyway, so I landed on derivative, which is it's sort of an apt description. Please don't draw. The mic's picking that up.
I know, it's good.
Why?
ASMR.
You know you can just speak instead of writing everything.
See, I came to this conclusion, but it was too late after I'd already started writing, because I have to follow through with everything I do, you see.
So, wait. Okay, so what you wrote says, it came from Arctic monkeys.
Shh, we'll get demonetized!
We'll get demonetized for talking about Arctic monkeys.
I don't know, maybe.
We're not even monetized. I have 19 subscribers.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin the dream before it starts, man.
Anyway, so my original plan for these albums was that it was going to be one album that goes by the naming scheme of just using a synonym for bad or
Something
not
that would
well
convey
made.
the same kind of idea.
Yeah, and then I would alternate between that and a concept album name, like the Olympians.
So what I see here is a real sense of ironic art and humor.
Yeah, this is me trying to lampshade how bad the music is by just saying, look, I know it's bad, I'm calling it bad myself, so, you know. Yeah, so Gauche is me returning to freedom from concept.
Yeah. Also, for me, I mean, personally, I think inept for you could be like a place where you could just put your mental farts. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is inept. I'm not here to take it serious. I'm here to have a mental fart and just get something out.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what derivative was for me.
Yeah.
And then the Olympians was more structured, and I
Yeah.
was trying to create something very specific.
Yeah.
And then now I'm going back to that just expressive, just
I
impressionistic.
know what you mean.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of concepts going on in this album, and I'd say it's definitely a step up from the second one. See, the second one felt like there was a lot of traditionalist aspects, just because of the names, really.
Yeah.
And the way it moved me, it was very cultured, I think. It felt like, just because I knew from where you were coming from, I could vaguely make out like the thematic and imagery that you might have put into the name.
The Olympians. Or
For
Ghost?
for each individual song title on the Olympians.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, this, even though I was trying to get away from the restrictions of concept, this album still has a cohesive feeling to it, where I was influenced. This was around the time I was first getting into shoegaze, so I was heavily influenced by My Bloody Valentine's first album, Isn't Anything.
Oh, yeah.
And I was first learning about vaporwave as well.
Yeah.
And trying to make stuff in that vein. So almost all the songs on this album have drum beats in them,
Yeah.
which is very new for Inept.
Should we go on the first one?
Yeah. You can just speak instead of using sign language and scribbling.
Leonard, I'm having more fun communicating non-verbally.
The thing is,
How are you supposed to figure it out easy when I'm being a fucking cunt? Okay, fine.
the listeners can't see what you're doing.
I know. You're supposed to understand it. It's for you.
Anyway,
For you.
okay, so Gauche is the first album where I've actually used a picture for the cover instead of just putting text over like MS Paint. Even though I did make this on MS Paint, like pretty much all the visuals I make are on
I think
MS
that's
Paint.
an original thing for this person.
Because it's such lo-fi music, the lo-fi visuals sort of make sense.
It does. It's you look at the album and you're, oh, I expect static. And you know what? You're not generally disappointed.
Yeah, if you put on an Inept album, you're gonna get static, whether you expect it or not.
If you're one of those people that can stare at the TV screen while it's just displaying static for hours, you will definitely have fun with this music.
Well, that's a glowing endorsement. Yeah, so the picture that I used for Gauche is a cutout from a William Adolphe Bouguereau painting. And he was a turn-of-the-century German traditionalist. And he mostly did traditional stuff, like mythological themes from Greco-Roman mythology.
Ah.
And I'm trying to find the...
I just got a whole bunch of Greco... Oh wait, that's irrelevant.
Here we go. And this painting is called Biblos.
Biblos. Oh, is this what it's taken?
Yeah. This painting is what I roughly cut the picture out from.
Oh. Could you show me the cover? Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
I think I might have seen that before, and it's just like, whoa, and I've probably forgotten about it.
Yeah, it's
What's the name of the piece? Do you know?
the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, the painting is called Biblos.
Biblos. Alright, awesome.
Biblos. Which I'm not actually sure what it's about.
I'm sure you've already said that, and you'll have to edit one of those times out.
No, it's alright, I can make you sound like a retard.
I'm sure you've already done that. I bet I'm the ultra inept, so the inept doesn't sound as inept.
Ultra inept.
Oh no, he's done it. Never go full inept, man. Never go full inept.
Okay, so let's move on to the first song. The first song is called Foregone Conclusion. So, what'd you think of it?
This song is sort of very retro. Honestly, I'd expected to find something like this in a old school 80s Super Nintendo Entertainment System game.
You reckon?
Yeah.
80s video game. It's quite like... Is that what you got from it?
The way the snare sounds, honestly, is like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Overdeveloped.
Yeah, so... When I made this song, I used... This was my first time trying to negotiate drums into a song. And I used as a sample a song by My Bloody Valentine called Soft as Snow, but Warm Inside, which is
A metaphor for something.
Yeah, which is the first song on Isn't Anything. Anyone who's listened to that album could probably recognize the drums at the start, which I literally just slowed down. And as much as this album was me trying to get away from the restrictions of a concept,
Yeah.
this album still has like a cohesive... I think it has a sort of cohesive emotion to it where I'm struggling against myself. So it's called Foregone Conclusion, which is like a conclusion that's been jumped to and just assumed. I tried to get at the feeling of this album's sort of loaded with guilt and shame. I'm not exactly sure what I was so angry at myself about. But
The need to impress.
maybe is that the kind of feeling you got from it? You said something like, "I can say all the things I think," or was that
I wish
unrelated?
I could say all the things I think. I get so many words so fast. It's like I just spin a wheel. Like could be that. Could be that. Could be that. Could be that. Could be that.
Yeah. I don't know. You just need to land on a thought and then
See,
slowly
half the
crawl
thing is-
to the next thought.
Half the thing is, as the listener, sometimes it's like you say something and that word directly correlates with that feeling, and it's like, oh yeah, but then you say something else, and it's like, oh look at that feeling.
So, you mean like
The
everything?
concepts change like every.
Just say what you mean.
This song's great. It feels honestly, it's like there's some kind of argument happening
Yeah.
where it's a confused argument where it's like honestly I feel like a kid and there's just stuff going on around me that I can't even explain properly, and like the way that the drums come across, they're like a bit
Stilted?
overdeveloped.
What do you mean by overdeveloped?
Like it's very very synthetic, like it's not even a drum kit.
Yeah,
In a
yeah.
way.
It is a drum machine. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
It is. It's also an '80s drum machine.
that's the feeling. That's how I feel like the music hits.
a scribble. Okay.
Sorry, that's like I mean like an actual scribble, like the way it comes across in certain places. It like you put the drum in and then like there's the after effects of the drum, and then it'll kind of just like fades out. You know, like oh god, this is not gonna work, is it? Okay, never mind.
Try using words.
But the sound dimension is so hard.
Yeah, I know what you mean by this song feels like an argument, because there are two. It's a polyrhythm. There are two different beats going on that are sort of at odds with each other.
Maybe I think because I'm a percussionist. See, I feel by the beat generally. I count by the drums and everything else, and I feel like everything's more like a hit more than it is a strum or whatever. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This is gonna help. This is to help me as well, right? So like,
Okay.
So this is like the rhythm. This is the bass, like the drums, right? And then like you got everything else like in between, and these are the sides that are fighting with each other. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
So you're saying the melody and the beat are at odds with each other?
Yeah, but it sounds like it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's sort of like me going on a thought tangent without my own permission. Like, assuming something, jumping to a conclusion.
Foregone.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yes, you're right. The next song is It Had to Be You. So, tell me about...
I love this song. It's the best. It's
Yeah?
the best inept song. The best inept song. Honestly.
Holy, that's a big claim to make this early in the
It's
series.
best inept song ever. Forever and eternal. Just because it's my first favorite inept song. Therefore, it's at number one on my list.
Okay.
No, you got a lot of jazzy upbeat stuff in this, and this is like the most distorted way of like picking someone in my head. I love it, honestly.
Picking someone.
Like, it's you.
Right.
Yeah.
So you feel like it's that. Okay. I, as well as the happy
By the way,
sounding
sorry, I doodle and shit because that's the kind of thing that keeps me like my mind occupied in a
focus.
subject.
Yeah. I understand. Whatever helps you, but just don't draw and speak at the same time. Okay.
I'll have to get like a clip pad or something like that, so like silence it. Like
Yeah. You can just put it on top of the pad of paper. That'll make it quieter.
Okay. But this is something I've even done in school just to keep my fucking mind occupied because it drifts.
Yeah.
My teachers will go through my books like, why are there scribbles everywhere? Because you're fucking boring. Shut up.
as well as thank you for regaling us with great tales of your childhood, as well as the jubilant, like jazzy saxophone bit going on. There's also a sense of dread
Yeah.
with the horns going.
It feels very like noir.
Noir.
Very
Oh
noir.
yeah.
I feel like I'm actually like a detective in like the 1950s, and this is like my dream, you know.
Yeah.
This is excellent. I honestly like imagine Jacob in a trench coat
Yeah.
when listening to this song, like when he was doing the PI days.
Jacob, friend of the show.
Jacob, Mr. Curly Detective Man.
Yes. If this album was a movie, it would be in black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's yeah.
I've showed my mum. I've showed a girl
You showed a girl.
and
How did
another
she
girl.
react? How did the girls react to this song?
And another girl. Alright, so Lainey was like, "Is this it?" And I was like, "You don't deserve this." And Carly was like, "Hey, this is pretty interesting." And it was the other one.
Mel.
Oh yeah, she was like, "It's kind of fucked up." She didn't understand it.
So when you meet a girl, is your first move to show them inept? Is that
Look, if they don't improve of that, I don't approve of them. Doesn't matter. Like,
there you go, people. That's the test. If she likes inept, she's the keeper.
Friday, we got this. Walk up to the DJ. Hey, boy,
Yeah.
play me some inept, right? Here's a USB drive.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out my way.
Give them the USB with pendulum on it and see how they react. And like, if the club goes,
Oh, that's another one of your good albums.
oh yeah, you like that one?
Pendulum swinging between apathetic and apathy and
Desperation
Thank you.
and apathy. Yeah, that's a much later one, which we will at some point get to. I think that's like number 12.
I used to fall asleep to that.
Oh yeah. Well, that's done more glowing praise.
Oh wait, is that bad? Is that like bias? Is that like a radiation? Is this like I'm actually biologically contaminated?
I assure you, people at home, inept will not give you a biological contamination or whatever the hell he just said.
Yes.
Inept is completely safe.
Radioactive, radioactive.
Okay, the next song is King. This song King,
This song gives me chills.
it gives me chills how fucking dense it is. I sent this song to Alex, a sort of friend of the show, many years ago when I made it, and he said, "Holy shit, dude! You put way too much stuff in your songs. There's too much going on here. I can't even comprehend all of this. It's like
It's because he's got a small brain. Small brain. Schwab!
this song is like I used In the Court of the Crimson King as a sample, which is quite obvious if you've heard that song by King Crimson, but yeah, everything in this song is from that song or me singing over the top, slowed down. It's where, but I only sing lyrics from the song, so.
But it's a bit distorted. You can't. I mean, I'm not sure I know the song by its name, and I didn't recognize the song by this song.
Oh, right. But what kind of feeling did you get from this?
It's like I was at some kind of carnival, and there were just like creepy clowns everywhere, and they were swinging back and forth menacingly, and I was stuck on some kind of merry-go-round, man. There's lots of red and white tents, and this is the spook song of the album. This is the spookiest song, and if you have a fear of clowns, I wouldn't actually recommend getting too much into the song.
So you get a clown vibe from it. Nobody could see you doing that clown impression.
Satire.
Yeah, well, this song is I wasn't quite sure if it should be a cover, like called a cover. You know what I mean?
I don't think this I mean, I think I might actually have to hear the original song to say
It's-
whether or not this is a cover or not. But
it does sound quite different from the original in its structure and its composition, but if you have heard the original song, you can absolutely hear all the pieces.
the countings.
Like the bit that goes.
Humour me. Not now, afterwards. That song.
Oh yeah. And of the flute, that's like.
Oh, that's what that is. That's probably the creepiest bit. That's like the clown bit, even, I dare say.
I think you're thinking of the super sped up part.
It's both.
Yeah, those two in this song, they sort of work together in this creepy unison. It's like two serpents around you. So the next song is "Slept My Mind." What do you think of it?
Song was actually really nice. It felt sort of like a mid-80s rock song. They had, like the aftertunes and stuff, but in the same way it really didn't. And the way that you counted the beats, it was off at first, but it sort of had a way of being consistently off.
Yeah,
I think that's your thing, is you're consistently off. You might be off, but you're consistent, and it shows consistency in your inconsistency.
Yeah. Repetition legitimizes.
Yeah.
Repetition legitimizes. Repetition legitimizes.
I think that's the word for this song. This song was quite uplifting. I didn't really get a clear image as much as a feeling of warmth and just being comfortable.
Yeah, this song came about from me.
That's a naughty. You have to erase that.
Of course I will. You're not gonna have me stopping mid-sentence to burp. Anyway, this song came about from me playing around with feedback.
Nice.
I had the amp and the guitar at full blast, and
I bet your family remembers you making this song.
yeah, at first I made everything except for the two chords. So the reason this sounds like a classic rock song is because there are two alternating chords. It's very simple, but they're fifths, so they're very.
I think I picked that up.
They're very resonant.
Subconsciously.
They're very simple and resonant, and you would have a cultural background of that.
Yeah. I think that's the relation that I got, really.
Yeah. So, I don't know exactly what I did, but I did something with the amp and the guitar that made it click just without me doing anything, and it started going.
You just gotta get a metronome in your room. Or just me, and I'll just sit there and...
Fuck that, man. Metronomes are fascist, bro.
You're right. That's why I'm a better metronome. A superior metronome.
Because you're not on beat every single time.
I can do anything, man. Anything I say. Or nothing.
Generally the latter. But yeah, and then I was playing around with feedback, and I made the bit that goes. That bit, and I thought, whoa, this sounds so like metallic. It's and so, but it also felt uplifting.
Yeah,
I was like,
I think,
I was like, wow, this feels so inspirational. So, mind you, so far it didn't have the chords there. So it was literally just noise, but I was like, wow, this is so inspirational.
Yeah.
I should put some real inspirational chords on top of this.
Yeah.
So then that's what I did. I used those two chords just forever with I made them super crunchy.
Yeah.
You know that distortion pedal I have that doesn't work properly? And it's like the orange pedal.
Yeah.
And it's like, it makes everything really crunchy but really quiet as well.
Yeah, you have to get it to a decent sound. You probably need like an amp that's as big as you.
Yeah. And then I put the chords on top, and then I don't even know what the lyrics were for this song. They're lost to time. Like I don't know what I was saying, but it doesn't matter because you can't understand anyway. It's it's literally like all you can hear is just like.
Honestly, bass chanting isn't that bad, and it's
yeah.
what it sounds like, and it's like, do I really need more?
Yeah. And
Especially seeing as how your rhythm and frequencies and range contrast so majorly. It's
yeah,
like just a little bit of voice. It's almost like Radiohead, and it's just so light and lovely, and it just feeds into it perfectly. I think you do a similar thing with your voice. You understand the right level of distortion you need to be able to blend in.
thank you. And the title "Slept My Mind" just came from me accidentally saying "slept" instead of "slipped," and then I was like, "Whoa, that sounds vaguely like a lo-fi song title," and then I just stuck it on this "Slept My Mind." And I probably say "Slept My Mind" in the song. My guess is that I just say that over and over again, and then distort the shit out of it.
Slept my mind.
Slept So, next song is "Loser."
I relate to this one. Who is speaking?
So the reason this song is called "Loser" is because the music in the background is "Loser" by Beck, but I've like slowed it down, put it backwards, put some stuff over it.
It sounds demonic.
Sounds demonic.
In a way. It is a song that's speaking in tongues.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the vocal samples for this one are Alan Watts speaking about
Life.
yeah, probably
Existence.
it's just what
Being in
what
the human
Alan
mind.
Watts talks about,
Yeah.
and the other part is it's a part of an audiobook of The World of Ice and Fire, which is like the law.
Nazis.
No.
Oh, okay.
Nazis.
They had their own science in the belief that the world was made up of ice and fire. Yeah. It's kind of weird.
No, this is a book that has all the extra lore from the Game of Thrones book series.
Okay. Never mind. Oh, never mind.
So I laid those over the top of each other, put some parts of it backwards, like slowed some parts down, sped some parts up. So it was all like pretty incomprehensible. Like some parts sound German. You were like, "Are you speaking Greek?" Like yeah, and it's just
They called me pencil beard. Never mind.
I've told you 1,000 times, you can't do visual gags on a podcast as much as you want to be Carrot Top.
Look, I don't give a fuck about the microphone, Leonard. You know what I give a fuck about. Anyways, let's continue.
Should give a fuck about the listeners.
I mean, I do. But, it's more about the energy in the room. At the second.
Okay. What kind of energy is that?
It's a good one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pencil beard kind of energy.
Arr!
And so, what kind of feeling did you get from this? You said it was demonic?
Yeah, this song. The speech is very distorted, and I heard so many different words, or what I thought were words in this, that honestly sounded like I was being fed imagery from another world. Yeah, just like that.
From another world.
Demonic worlds, man. Demonic worlds, man. Not really demonic, actually. I just something I can't understand, incomprehensible.
Yeah, this whole album is full of me
Because I
just...
can comprehend demons. Trust me.
You can comprehend demons.
That was it.
This whole album is just me playing around with Premiere, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, even though the songs sound similar, that's only because I was trying out similar things. Like I was developing a cohesive. Can you not do that while I'm speaking? I was trying to develop a cohesive voice, to make a body of work that evolves and makes sense. So yeah, this song was another attempt of me to play around with Premiere and try to get rhythms to sort of work with each other, which is something I struggled with on the first two albums.
I think you did some good jobs, but honestly, this album I think was your biggest improvement. I think this showed the most improvement, and I only think this because I reckon this probably had the songs that stood out to me the most.
Oh yeah, they stood out to you like they were quite different.
Like it had to be you.
Yeah. So the next song after Loser is Old Times. What kind of impression did you get from Old Times?
Half the song it sounded like you were winding a spring, like Jack in a Box. Sorry, like a tension spring, and you're just the handles going around and around and around, and it's slowly building and getting more intense, and the atmosphere is doing more to everything else. Just like that.
This yeah, it does sound like a music box. I can see what so this song is made out of videos that I accidentally took at Tokyo Disneyland. I must have accidentally left my phone on in my pocket, and it took like a bunch of photos and videos.
Yeah.
And so this is made everything except for the guitar and vocals is made out of those pieces. And so
when you listen to this piece, what made you think like, hey, this is making a good song?
No, I was like, oh, I have all these bits from Tokyo Disneyland.
And you loved it so much that you wanted to embody it in a single minute and a half that you could listen to. Yeah.
It's like,
well, I can get around that.
Well, it's sort of like I was like, this would make a good song. It's like it sort of sounds inepty already.
Yeah. So it was more like it fit the theme you already had, and it just was like, hey, this would be cool, huh?
Yeah. And this song is called. Okay, so the lyrics of this song are a poem by E. Cummings called "Somewhere I Have Never Traveled Gladly Beyond," and I heard this. This was during my Woody Allen phase, and I heard this poem in a Woody Allen movie called Hannah and Her Sisters, and this song is named not after the poem that constitutes the lyrics, but it's named after a song in another Woody Allen movie called Annie Hall, which I'm sure everyone's heard of.
Maybe once. Might have made me watch it once. I mean, I might have watched it once.
And it's called Old Times because I'm remembering the old times that I had at Tokyo Disneyland with a specific girl that I was walking around with. And so I'll read you the lyrics.
I think I done in Japanese. I think I done. Oh, sorry.
These lyrics are. She knows who she is if she's listening to this. These lyrics are dedicated.
Did she speak English?
Sometimes.
Oh.
Anyway, so these are the lyrics. Somewhere I've never travelled, gladly beyond any experience, your eyes have their silence. In your most frail gesture are things which enclose me, or which I cannot touch because they are too near. Your slightest look easily will unclose me, though I have closed myself as fingers. You open always, petal by petal, myself as spring opens, touching skillfully, mysteriously, her first rose. Or if your wish be to close me, I and my life will shut very beautifully, suddenly, as when the heart of this flower imagines the snow carefully everywhere descending. Nothing which we are to perceive in this world equals the power of your intense fragility, whose texture compels me with the colour of its countries, rendering death and forever with each breathing. I do not know what it is about you that closes and opens, only something in me understands that the voice of your eyes is deeper than all roses, Nobody, not even the rain, has such small hands. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. When you hear the babyish voice in this song, it's like that's me sped up.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Turns out I sound like a baby when you speed me up.
I think it's either like a baby or a chipmunk, and I think that's every single person, so it's alright. And Squirrel Boy.
Squirrel boy.
Yeah, Squirrel Boy.
Okay, the next song is Kid Myself. You have to be the same distance as me from the mic though.
Don't worry, I got this. See, I'm pretty much in the same spot as I was before, only like 70 centimeters slower.
Are you gonna be able to have a conversation with me though?
Yeah, of course I can.
Alright, what do you think of Kid Myself?
Oh, so you had like this weird thing that would come on and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And in a way it was sort of like dubstep. But instead of dubstep and then being a fart, it was more like a staticky storm. And I don't mean like, I don't know, like what like a normal dubstep song. I mean like, it felt more like an actual static charge building up and then going off in my ear.
Oh, yeah, that thing that's like.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be closer to how the frequency would work if that was like more like an actual frequency of thing, you know?
Yeah, when I made this song, I was trying to make vaporwave.
Ah.
Yeah.
I think you did a very close job, but you did your good old own spin on it.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot noisier and more crowded than most vaporwave songs. So I made this song out of a crowded house song called
Crowded song, huh?
Oh, that didn't even occur to me.
Ah!
Oh, holy crap. Maybe that was why I used the word crowded. Just like subconsciously. Yeah, the song's called Can't Carry On, and this song is about my unhealthy sleeping habits.
Would you say your habits of sleeping are still unhealthy?
Yes.
Or are they more consistently consistent now?
I sleep when I feel tired. And that does not line up to a 24-hour rhythm at all.
That's understandable. I'm like that on the weekends, but if I have work, it's like cut off is 12.
Yeah,
Unless I'm
but I'm very, very bad at forcing myself to sleep. If my body doesn't want to sleep, then there is no way for me to get to sleep.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel like there's always like a going on if I can't sleep, and that's like, okay, the engine's still like roaring.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can hear in this song, if you listened with a deft ear.
Hey, should we just pause it real quick to see how you can hear me while I'm down here underneath the chair?
Can you just sit on the chair?
Yeah. Okay, fine.
So this, if you were listening closely, then you can hear basically two tracks going against each other. Which is
yeah. You had like the static, the sort of what I described as the static beat, and then you had like the rest of the song, which was more of like the melodic style.
Yeah. And one of the conflict between those is meant to be the conflict between me wanting to go to sleep and have a healthy sleep schedule and wanting to be a normal person, and then the other half, the more like crazy, yeah, the scattered half is like my manic brain just continually chugging along like a steam train without brakes.
Yeah.
And that's what this song is meant to represent. And then you know that like jump scare at the end. I don't know why I put that in. I just put a fucking jump scare at the end of the song.
When you wrote this song, you're actually like possessed by something. You're like, oh no, this is right. I just did this right.
Yeah, I don't know where that jump scare came from. It's like
it actually came from fate itself deciding that the spooky season should be the right time.
Oh yeah, it's the yeah. Well,
spiritual celestial clock. It's in time. Don't worry, we got this. We're on time, all right.
Well, we're up to the last song. Speaking of being
this isn't a song.
On schedule,
it's a church service. Be ready.
Gilgamesh. What did you think of this song?
Oh, this song. Oh man, if there was ever a song where you could imagine like a kaiju, and Mr. Japanese, you know what that is? It's this one. Anyways, I honestly feel like there is a giant monster rampaging through a city, stomping about, and it's even, I swear it's even got like the classic 70s type.
Oh yeah,
going over the top
like
of it.
siren, yeah.
Yeah. Warning, warning, this is not just a warning, warning. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really have a reason for calling this song Gilgamesh.
I think you heard it and you're like, you know what, monster seems fit, this'll do.
What do you think Gilgamesh is?
A ruiner of villages, a burner of everything, an eater of souls, a harvester of organs!
Maybe, I mean, there are mixed reviews, but Gilgamesh was an ancient king of Sumeria. Well, he was the king of Uruk, which is a Sumerian city-state. They reckon he was king around 2500 to maybe 2800, that sort of time BC.
Mm-hmm.
And he was later deified, so they started worshipping him, and giving him like godly attributes and stuff. And
Don't.
You're making a weird face.
No. Yes. I'm scared. Actually, you summoned it, you idiot. No,
and there is a very famous ancient text called the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is like documenting his various achievements and troubles.
Yes.
And this song I made out of... Okay, the story of this song is I messaged Ethan, friend of the show.
Bug boy!
Yes, Bug Boy. And I was playing around with Premiere, and I was like, what song should I make a song out of? And he says, Britney Spears' Toxic. And so I went to YouTube and looked up Britney Spears' Toxic instrumental and slowed it down to like, I don't know, 15-20%. And it came out as this. Well, most of this, right? So this is like all of the drums, all the dum dum, and like the bit that's like that's all Britney Spears' Toxic.
So what Britney Spears actually did is she just got a standard kaiju Godzilla monster film and she actually sped it up.
Yeah, she sped it up to 500%.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
She actually tried to invent Nightcore, but was like, haha, this is music.
And yeah, I also put a YouTube video I found of the Epic of Gilgamesh being sung in reconstructed ancient Sumerian, and put that in the background as well. So the bit that you hear that's like bang 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 bang,
Oh.
and like
where
he's like that bit.
let's think on mic. When we close it.
Oh, okay.
Hot tea?
Yeah. So I put all those pieces together, and it came out as this 15-minute post-rock masterpiece.
Beautiful, honestly.
Yeah, this... I was so proud of this song when I made it. I was like, holy crap, I could be a superstar.
Yeah.
Like, I could be the next like
Seriously, put this song on your next Halloween party mix. It will be a banger.
yeah. Until somebody's like, "Is this toxic? Slow down."
Bah, bah, bah. Nah, that's a banger, boy.
So yeah, and it takes up almost half of the runtime of the whole album. And yeah, I was inspired by the Velvet Underground's second album, White Light, White Heat, where they've got like 5 sort of short songs, and then Sister Ray, which is like a 17-minute like masterpiece.
Oh.
And so I was inspired by that. I wanted to make a long song.
I'm impressed. Honestly, though, but like
That's why I do this, to impress you.
yeah, just for me. If there's anyone to impress in this world, you have to impress me. I'm actually the most important opinion. That's why it's so secret.
No, I just do this to boost my own ego. um,
Sounds like you found a friend.
who, my own ego?
I don't see anyone else in this room.
um, what did you think of this album as a whole?
Honestly, this was a great album. It's sort of one of those unique hits that'll sit with you for a while. I will remember It Had to Be You and Gilgamesh probably forever.
Wow, that is actually a glowing endorsement. What I wanted out of Inept is for the specific musical landscape inside my head to be etched in stone forever.
Bravo.
That's what I was trying to do. So, as long as YouTube lasts forever, then
As long as there's internet, there shall be glorification.
cheers!